Today we are customizing the Ubermacht Sentinel XS4. And as you can see, it is $1,429,000. It's a 4-seater. It's based on a BMW E46 325i. And the reason why it's based off the 3 Series and not a E49 or E39 is because it's not a bigger M5 or 5 Series. Those cars kind of transfer over. This is actually a reference to its custom variant, which is also part of 1998 to 2003. So as some people know the references, this is the Ubermacht Sentinel XS4 based on a BMW E46 325i. And this customization video will show exactly what it is and what we know about it. So, a 4-door sedan that came out in 1998 to 2003 with cloth seats, has a standard package. You could also get a variant of the Ubermacht Sentinel XS4 GTS, that is the sport tuned dynamics with a V8 engine, but for this one it's a standard Ubermacht Sentinel XS4. You're getting the inline 6-cylinder twin turbo engine with 380 horsepower off the line. The standard for any luxury sedan or support package, I would say the sport package is going to give you a little bit of an increase on your horsepower, but the price is going to increase with that as well. And with some references of its 5 Series counterpart, I would say that the 8-cylinder is more so in the 5 Series than it is in the 3 Series. But there are variants of this car that come with a V8, which this one does not come with a V8. It comes with a 6-cylinder twin turbo package. So this vehicle being called a Sentinel makes more sense than it being called a Oracle. An Oracle is a 5 Series and a Sentinel is a 3 Series. That is the difference of these two cars. Of course, the design cues of the front end looks like a 5 Series a tad bit, and the back end looks similar to a 5 Series, but it is not a 5 Series as does the gods of, Rockstar believe that this is more of an M3 baseline car, but not the sport package. So it's not an M3, it's not a GTS, it's just the standard 6-cylinder twin turbo engined variant of this BMW. So, as it says, a reference to the 90s, it took us 30 years to realize how good the 90s were. The music was catchy, the weed didn't cause psychosis, and the only reason anyone needed a cell phone was to lie to their spouse. But if you're going to wallow in 90s nostalgia, why turn it into a hit and run presenting the Ubermacht Sentinel XS4. XS4 probably means small While extra small, it's also a 4-door. And for fun things, things only went downhill from there. Well, here, really. So, this car, though, this car, after the 2003 variant, it did go downhill from there for power output. I would say this is the standard car before electronics were added, and this car had functionally issues with like the windows, the electronics, and things like that. So at least in this form, you don't have to worry about the electronics, because it seems that Ubermacht has figured out how to fix that problem by mass producing more of these as their classic reputation. So we have a $1.5 million BMW Ubermacht. Anyways, let's go off into the sun and show you the car. Okay, so I'm going to customize this vehicle here. This is the BMW Love type of vehicle. You can see this is the exterior. I do have a 7 Series as example, which is also a 5 Series. As you can see, it has a leather interior, which this one comes with a cigarette package, and it's an Oracle XS, which the normal Oracle over there is not of the same year or anything like that. This one has different backlights too. But the funny thing about this car is that it's based on 2 different BMWs that are very distinct, and they both came out around the same years. Yes, I do have some data to back up why this is an M3 more so than it is of a 5 Series. And this specific car is probably more of a 3 Series than a 5 Series, because of the interior matching the Sentinel XS that's over there, which in this case, this car is actually slightly older than the other variant, which then it would be a 39 from the headlights, but the back end is exactly what a 90s to early 2000s BMW looks like. From all angles, it looks like an exact copy, but the fact that Rockstar made it a Sentinel kind of makes it confusing. Also, the fact that the Sentinel would be the only vehicle with a 6-cylinder inline engine with twin turbo, which only comes in an M3 typically, and an M5 or an M5 package would make more sense for those luxury sport models. So this might be a sport model of a actual Sentinel. So let's start customizing, shall we? This is the interior. It's a 4-door variant of the 2-door variant of the Sentinel XS. So we're going to go through this. So it has a missile lock-on jammer. Of course, it's $450,000 if you can afford it. Of course, I assume you can, because, you know, this car is expensive, and I don't expect someone with $1.5 million to not just have $1.5 million to just buy the car stock, but sure, you could buy it stock. Even when you upgrade it, it might not exactly be what you want, but the armor benefit and the missile lock-on jammer is definitely a good choice to install. You got brakes, you got bumpers. See, we got the standard bumper, which looks similar to a 5 Series. Then we have bumpers that look more like a sporty addition to the actual M3 looking ones. Yes, I did my research. Mono is similar to that touring bumper that was used on a 39, well, slash 5 series and the 3 series, which is a 325i something. For some reason, Ubermacht decided to have two different distinct cars that look identical to each other, but one is just slightly smaller than the other. This is why the Sentinel XS4 is called extra small, because it's not the Oracle. The Oracle extra small would be a slightly different car. As you can see, the Oracle XS4 would probably be the exact same looking car, except the front headlights would be the other one. And it would also be a little bit more of a 7 series looking type of car, as it does get confusing. And these other bumpers are just sportier versions. So these would probably be the look-alike of GTS, that they call it, or STD, standard dynamics, or standard tuning dynamics, that they call it, for other than it being a GTS. And eventually it'll probably have a GTS badging if you are looking for that kind of speed dynamics thing, which GTS is just Grand Touring standard. They're sports sedans. So, yeah, you have all these options. And then rear bumper. You could choose any one of these if you want. Starts to look kind of weird, though. Here's the engine. Here's the exhaust. Here's the hood. And yes, that is an M3 hood from Most Wanted, if you wanted to think about it, a GTS. An M3 GTS versus a Sentinel GTS would be two different cars distinctly. This is a sedan variant of the M3 instead of a two-door, which typically you wouldn't know that this car didn't actually exist until the early 2000s, when they came out with a 2003 model, which was only a 1-year thing. It came out from 2001 to 2003, but they never produced another one after 2002. So 2003 just sold 2002 versions, and they all had this similar kind of hood. The horn, you could choose between lights. Usually they would have xenon lights, just like real life, if you wanted to go for those. You have the liveries: racing stripe, black stripe, double stripe, black double stripe, racing stripe, two-tone, black top, urban, Ubermacht. It totally has a reference to its Oracle-based vehicles. That is why it doesn't have the Oracle badging. As you see, it is of the old version, and the round one is actually meant for its newer counterpart, though it's probably hard to say. This might be just a modern upscaled version of what is supposed to be the old classic. They were probably planning to add the original logo, but then they were like, oh wait, this is a Sentinel, so it's probably not going to be of the same brand anyway, so they'll probably rename it in GTA 6. Junk Energy, the energy drink that you drink typically at the agency or when you're parachuting. Atomic, the tire brand in this game, that is Goodyear. typically everyone's probably going to choose this one if you really are a BMW fan. Or you would go for a racing livery that suits you the most. If you choose this one, you got to choose a darker blue, otherwise it won't make sense. Or just white, because red, blue, and white is a BMW thing for their sports dynamics thing. Or black top if you want to do two-tone. It's pretty nice, but from a little bit upward it looks like a Honda Civic. Don't tell me why. You have the plates. You choose whatever plate you want. You have resprays. Now I could show you what it looks like if it's silver, black, or anything above. That's your primary color. It's the entire car. Of course, you'd probably typically see a M5 or a 5 Series as a silver car, or a green car if you want to be like James Bond from Tomorrow Never Dies. These are all the colors. Let me break it down for you. This trim color is only for the middle seat and the side doors, and it does not affect the stitching. The stitching is affected from the primary color, so be warned about that. The secondary, if there was a secondary, is controlled through the brake calipers, but you don't have access to that, unfortunately. The roof, stock roof wing, does not add traction, just keep that in mind. Classic roof rack. Looks cool, but there's no reason to have one if you don't have anything on it. And a classic roof box for any explorer out there that wants to go on a road trip around Los Santos to Blaine County. Some skirts. Spoiler. Every car needs a spoiler if you want some traction, but if you want this car to look like its bug standard version of its sport package, or just a standard package, then just don't choose a spoiler whatsoever. It looks a lot like a Honda from the side. It's kind of weird with the backlights where it looks like a BMW and a Honda just by the shape of it. You put the spoiler, it's automatically a GTS. I'm kidding. The speed is not too different. Ducktail Mark II, Ducktail Mark III, which is probably the racing one. GT wing. This one makes more sense for the M3 if you wanted to be similar to that. This one is also similar to the M3. I think some of the 5 Series had spoilers like this that were race car compared. This one looks very familiar, doesn't it? It's like a Sentinel wing, but it was also seen in race car races for M3s, but they're mostly just 3 Series spoilers, so it's not like full-on race car build. We have sun strips. We have suspension. If you want the best possible racing out of this car, you have to slam it. I wouldn't advise slamming it. Otherwise, you make this car look kind of ugly, but it's all a personal preference, really, for this one. I'll do it just for the driving aspect of it. Alright, transmission, turbo, wheels. Now you could choose any wheels you want. Off-roads look like this. Stock wheels look like this. Similar to a 3 Series stock, if you think about it, without those middle column bits. I picked chrome rims for this one on the sport category. If you wanted to know specifically what I chose, it's this one or this one. You could choose either one. Really, Dash VIP looks the most similar to some of the sports car packages, and then there's also that one too. It looks pretty good. You also have the street and tune category if you want something more special. You get both bulletproof tires on this, as every other car. You have limo tint as well. And we are going to exit this garage. What you're going to see is a lot of stiff back drawing out, or the pull away from you, and it's difficult. I mean, it feels as agile as a 3 Series. Steering, it's probably like no ABS, or just the beginning of it anyway. Not the fastest car, I'll tell you that. Oops. But it does have some speed. It is a sedan. It's in the sedans class. This is the first person. It feels very loose, like the FMJ. Very similar to that car. Steering is more like oversteer than understeer, so it's instant like reaction, just like a real BMW. Maybe a little bit more intense into the steering input. Anyways, let's open up the car, and I can show you what is inside of this thing. Okay, so we have a 6-cylinder, inline 6-cylinder, twin turbo. And as you can see there, it says Sentinel. That U3 is like M3, so it says Ubermacht 3. And it has the STD package, which is the Sentinel tuning division. You know, the sports tuning division, which is like M3. So as long as it has the Sentinel tuning division, means it's probably an M3. Probably because it's a 6-cylinder instead of a 5. Like a 5 Series has a V8. This has a 6-cylinder twin turbo, which comes with the BMW M3s usually, but it's a stock package, so I would assume it's a 3 Series with a M3 engine package. So sport package on a normal 3 Series. Even though the front end looks like a 5 Series. I know, it gets confusing and very annoying. Oh, and look at that. You can see the air filter right there. The fan is squeezed right between that. You can see it. fan is there. The battery would actually be in the back on this car. Like there's the compartment for the battery that it's supposed to be back here. Usually it's on the right side right there, or the left side right there. This trunk has some weird things going on here. And we have 4 doors instead of, you know, the 2. That's pretty much it, though, for this vehicle. Would I say you should buy this type of car? It's okay for the price tag. It's slow now because it's, you know, a 6-cylinder and not a V8. It's not gonna beat any races, so far as I know. There is a video, another video, talking about its speed, and its speed is the second best sedan in the entire game at the moment of 2025. So, do I recommend this vehicle? If you are a BMW fan and you want to collect all the BMWs, this is the car for you. Because it's between the era of failing BMWs and good BMWs, and this was the last luxury model of its year, and I would imagine this is probably the cloth seats or leather seats variant of it, but yeah, can't have a full-on tan interior yet. So enjoy GTA 6's version way more than this version, because holy crap. Goodbye, everyone. Make sure to like and subscribe.